Hello, community. It's an awesome day. My name is Sheila Hardy, and I'm the founder and CEO of Because It's Personal, Inc. And here with me is my co-host, Ericka. I'm on fire. That's the way it is. Scott of Life Changers, Inc. And this is the Community Nonprofit Network Podcast, aka CNN. Our motto is, where your nonprofit shines. Ericka, how you doing?
Sheila, I am awesome. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing well. So what are we talking about today?
Well, today we are following up with another Just Us episode. It's part 2 to the episode that aired last week, Hurdles Facing Community Nonprofit Organizations, because there was still so much after we quit recording that we wanted to discuss that we felt it was worth another quick follow-up. We didn't want to wait to get this one out. So we'll continue talking about hurdles because there are so many. And we're just discussing ones that we're dealing with in Life Changers, my organization. You're dealing with in yours because it's personal, and others that we have talked to, what they're facing. What I'd like to set it off with is to go techie. Don't close your ears on me, but to go a little techie, because I truly believe that is a big hurdle facing a lot of nonprofit organization founders, because they don't come from techie backgrounds. They may come from leadership and they may have supervised or managed technical aspects of a business, but the hands-on, as we know, nonprofits often come from, shoestring budget startups. So, one thing I would really like to explain or share from my expertise as a business coach in the for-profit and nonprofit space is how to prioritize what your nonprofit needs, because every nonprofit doesn't need the same thing. So one thing I'd like to talk about first and foremost is your website. The reason why I want to talk about your website is because your website is your home base. That is where you want to drive everybody to. So you want to have your website explain what you do, your mission and your vision statement. You want to explain who's other than you. Do you have volunteers? Do you have board members? Also, do you have a volunteer sign-up sheet or application? That can be on your website. This way you have one place to send everybody, but that is your home base, because you definitely want your donors coming to your website to see all the awesome information that you're sharing about your nonprofit, its progress, and the projects and the services, the workshops, the classes, all the great work you're doing in the community, your photo gallery or videos of what you're doing, feeding the homeless, teaching theater in after-school programs, whatever you're doing, running a no-kill animal shelter. There's a lot of great things that the nonprofits are doing, but they're spread out over like social media or even a YouTube channel, but they don't have a website, and you really truly need a website. And I'll share this, and some may disagree. We all know Google, and although some of us have some of us have a love-hate relationship with Google, because they do have so much say over what we do, what we show, because Google they're either going to show you or they're not. Well, as a nonprofit 501c3, you have your determination letter. You can now apply for Google for Nonprofits. And this is a great way for your website that I just explained needs to be out there. This is a great way to get it out there, because part of the Google for Nonprofits program is $329 per day, up to $329 per day, up to $10,000 each month in Google ad spend. Let me repeat that. In Google ad spend, not in your pocket, not in your bank account. This gives you money to spend on ads. They are display ads, meaning you can't attach a photo or a video. However, they are extremely powerful. They can easily get your nonprofit seen and known. So if people are in the area of your nonprofit and they put in volunteer near me, donate near me, community service near me, you can pop up. That is a great reason why you need a website and to apply for the Google for nonprofits.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what if I'm just starting out and as you know, I'm not a techie person either, but just starting out, I need to get a website. Can I get a website on my own? Can I do that like with Wix or GoDaddy? I know you like that with GoDaddy, right? Yeah.
Well, I use GoDaddy. GoDaddy is that's my techie hub for like 20 years. What I suggest, again, with the shoestring budget, is go to Google Sites. I know, I just said, go to Google Sites. You can build a free website, and all you have to pay for is your URL that you're going to attach to the website. A URL is your domain. So it is www.nonprofit.org. Whatever you buy from cheap names or I get all mine from GoDaddy, and maybe $9.95, $12.95, depending on what your name is, it can be a few $1,000s. But a Google site is easy to set up on your own. There's not that much functionality, but it is a Google site, so they have all just the nuts and bolts that you need, not all the bells and whistles like a WordPress site that mine is on. And that's the gist of it. You can attach, you can build your blog post, you can have your donate page, and they have buttons. You can put your images and your YouTube video stuff, whatever you need on a Google site.
That's awesome. I wish I'd have known that earlier. Okay, I'm learning like you guys are learning. I mean, this is wonderful. Okay. All right. So let's say I got all that done. Is there like a certain thing that I need to stay on track, like a theme? Should I have a theme or just have, okay, my mission, what I want to do and all that? We got that. But should I let's say, I want to make some videos.
Okay.
Should I stick with making videos for, I don't know, the theme of my nonprofit? How do I do that? Can I get off a little bit? What type of theme should I have for my website?
Well, your theme, okay, for one, your theme will be totally dependent upon your platform. And your platform, are you going with Google Sites? If so, you only have a choice of, I think it's 3 themes. So you don't have much, to contemplate there. However, if you go to WordPress, and I can only speak to WordPress because I don't know Wix that well. But if you go to WordPress, you have thousands of themes to choose from. There's a lot more flexibility and functionality with a WordPress site. And this is, I'm speaking to a managed WordPress site. So if you go to GoDaddy, they have what's called an ultimate WordPress managed website builder. But there's also a free WordPress website that will not let you qualify for Google because you have to own the domain. Again, nonprofit.org as opposed to nonprofit.wordpress.com or nonprofit.wix.com. That's the big deal. So with themes and videos, hey, people like to see what's going on behind the scenes. They want to see what's going on out, what kind of work are you doing? You're feeding the homeless. Well, of course, you don't want to try to embarrass anybody, but you might take a video of you and your volunteers prepping the food that you're about to hand out, or and take pictures of the check or gift cards that you got from Publix or Kroger's or Walmart, wherever because of course the contributors, they want you, sharing the love with them and for them, for their community, for their shoppers to see, okay, so it doesn't all go in their pocket. They're helping, feed the hungry. So yeah, you want to just have fun with it, take videos of whatever you can, your community service workers clowning, on a break, or, catch one of them. They don't see that you're recording them and they're doing some kind of dance they used to do back in the day, just have fun with it. Community service is, it's serious business because we are doing God's will and the work that he's created us to. Okay. I'm going to go there, but you still can have a lot of fun doing it. And honestly, if you're anointed to do it, you're going to have fun. So yeah. Did that answer your question about
That's
the
great.
theme and the
That's
video?
awesome.
Okay.
Yes, it did. All right. Well, okay. So then my next step would be what? I mean, after I get this website going and everything, what do you think my next step will be to launch, to get that out there? Should I go on TikTok? Should I have an Instagram?
Because I know nothing about TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. I think the top ones that I would say, because of course we all need donations, right? So I would say Facebook. Get your donate button up there. You got to go through a little qualification and attach your bank account and, all of that. And that, in order to get Facebook, you have to have a PayPal account for nonprofits, not just a PayPal account. So not your, regular Gmail or, personal. It has to be a PayPal for nonprofits account. In order to get the PayPal for nonprofit account, you have to have a bank account with your nonprofit's name. So it has to be a business checking account. Check with your financial institution. I'm speaking of Chase, JP Morgan Chase. I had to go with my determination letter saying that I'm a 501c3 according to the IRS. And I had to go with the money to open the account, of course. $1 to be real clear. I gave them $1 and, your ID. That's it. So once you get your PayPal open, you can get Facebook open. And, the other thing, little things like register for Amazon Smile and share your Amazon Smile link. It's a custom link that you can share with your friends and family. This will date this video, but we're in the midst of back to school for a lot of districts. Well, what better way to support you without paying extra out of pocket than to share that link with your Facebook community or your IG community or your Twitter community or TikTok, if you can put a link on TikTok, your Snapchat or whatever you do. And hey, support us during your back to school shopping. No extra money out of pocket, but Amazon Smile, through Amazon Smile, Amazon donates 0.05% to your nonprofit through your link. So, that's awesome. The prices don't go up, but it has to be through your link. It has to be through your link. So that's Facebook. That is, Amazon Smile. Of course, through Facebook, you can also, connect your Instagram donate button. And of course, on your website, you've got to have a donate page on your website. So nonprofit.com/donate, chip in and support or whatever with different ways to donate. Zelle, if you have a text system in place, the Amazon Smile, me personally, I put my Amazon, my Amazon Smile picture up there and they click on it and it takes them to the Amazon Smile page for Life Changers Inc. You want PayPal, of course. On PayPal, you can create a donate button. You want that on your website. So you want them to be able to donate in as many ways as possible. I also have a gift butter for those who don't like PayPal. You know, some people still don't trust PayPal. So those are donate. And yeah, you definitely want that.
Tell the audience about gift butter.
Give GIVEBUTTER. Like give me some money, butter.
Okay, I said it
butter
wrong. Sorry about that. Give butter.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Well, they're free.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. They're free. You don't have to sign, because a lot of these places sign up. The reason why we set up with Give Butter is because we did not have our 501c3 determination letter yet. So, and Give Butter let us set up and accept donations. Side note, folks, you can accept donations even before you have your 501c3. However, you do need to put in your footer of your website that you are not a 501c3 as of yet. The application has been submitted and you fully expect it to be approved. So yeah, there's something to that wording. You know, seek legal advice, because we are not, legal consultants or advisors or lawyers. We're just speaking from personal experience for what we do with our nonprofits. So that's why I like Give Butter. You can make campaigns with Give Butter. If you want to do a campaign for, say you're going after a, corporate sponsorship, you can just as many, campaigns as you want to make. And the thing I really like about, Give Butter does not have a set price. So, they give a suggested price, but it's more on a donation tip. So, of course, you feel obligated to donate because they're, giving you this awesome platform to work with, but there's no set fee. I think when I cashed out our donation, it was like $4. I think I donated because they suggested $4. I go, okay. And I think that wound up being like 4% or 5% of, it was a small amount. So, but yeah, I like Give Butter. They're easy. Connect your, bank account or whatever to it, and no hassles. I think it's next day, cash out, done.
Awesome. Well, what do you think about volunteers? I mean, we know that we need volunteers all the time.
Yes.
And so what is the best way? And I know you have been interviewing volunteers here lately for about, 2 weeks?
Yes.
And tell us the best thing that we should know about how to get the best of the best with volunteers.
The best of the best, the creme de la creme.
Best of the best.
Yes. I like last week when we, last episode we talked about your nonprofit is a business, right? It's not just some hobby, it's a business. And as I suggest to any business person, the number one platform that you should be on to promote your website to get that help is LinkedIn. Why? Because LinkedIn is the largest professional platform. And volunteers, they're a lot of fun, but they need to be professionals. And that's where you're going to find the best ones. LinkedIn has company pages, just like Facebook has company pages, LinkedIn has company pages, and it's the same function. The only difference is you don't have a donate button. But you post on it. You can share your donation information on LinkedIn. But they give you one free job posting, and right before we got on here, a job posting, I used my free job posting for two things. I need anybody out there listening, I need somebody who can program and configure our HubSpot, our CRM, customer relations management system. And I also need a volunteer program director. Somewhat about 30 hours a week. But that's where we have blown up with volunteers. Before now, we were working a lot with community service workers, which that's fine. And again, through Google, hey, community service near me, got in a little bit of trouble with the law. If you're within 5 miles of Life Changers, we show up. But on LinkedIn, we have gotten some really high quality volunteers. One in Malaysia does social media. Shout out to Charles. One in Shanghai is doing our video creations. Shout out to Salman. And we have one right here in the States, North Carolina. Shout out to Hannah. She's writing our blog posts. We have one in Colombia, South America. Shout out to Jose, who is uploading our blog posts to the site. And we have John out in California and Kabir in the UAE. They are both volunteer grant writers. And of course, I have my Ace Boone Coon volunteer who's been with me since before Life Changers even was started. I didn't even know about nonprofits when Rashia joined me. She is our communications organizer, so she organizes communications for everybody. Employment agreements signed, NDA signed, and basically helps out with the interns, because we have interns. So she helps out with everyone, but she heads up the interns. And so she's a volunteer. I'm a volunteer. We have to stay organized. Rashid is also the secretary of our board, so I can't miss that part. That's important. But back to your question. LinkedIn, put up a volunteers needed. Make sure it's in the title, because you'll waste a lot of time with people who don't read. Volunteers needed, and in the description, tell them what you need them for. And I listed, this is a tip. You only get one job posting, but you get a description, and in that description, you can put, we also need volunteers for. That's how we got social media, blog posts, grant writers. You just list them out, and then when they come to you, they're going to message you, or LinkedIn is going to show you that so-and-so has applied for your job posting. You look at, download the resume and set up an interview. Bam, Google Meet or Skype, whichever, depending on where they are. Some people can't use video. Some people, if they're in the States, there's no point in you being on video. But so that's a great, LinkedIn is really a great place to get volunteers from. Okay.
That sounds great. That sounds really, really good. Now, is there that LinkedIn is there a B? Is there another platform that you can use besides LinkedIn?
Well, Facebook also has, I think it's just called Jobs. If you have, for one, you have to have your business page. It doesn't have to be qualified as a nonprofit. Like if you go to mine, it says Life Changers Inc. Atlanta, because apparently Life Changers was already taken, but Life Changers Inc. Atlanta nonprofit. But you can just have Life Changers Inc. and access the jobs. So, and on there, you fill out no different than if you're on Indeed or some other job board. You fill out what type of position, what you need them doing. Do they have to be here in the States? Is it remote or hybrid or full time? Have to be in person. And honestly, I've never gotten anybody from there. I have positions on there since about 3 months ago, and had to go ask the Lord, okay, what do I do? Because this ain't working and I need help. Rashid and I definitely need help. He said LinkedIn, and LinkedIn, over a period of 2 weeks, now the third week, but in the first week alone, I think we had 16 applications. So that's, it's a numbers game. And I think,
that's awesome.
I think you may remember me saying this from a while back. It is a numbers game, because it is. You're talking about volunteers. You'll
Yes, you
get good
did.
ones, but you gotta go through, some will be with you and then you can't get them to return an email. They won't answer the phone. But then you have those that are so dedicated to your cause and, they work like they're clocking in. So praise God. Thank you.
So the next question concerning about volunteers is, do you ask them how long they can be with you, or how does that work? Because we know that, everybody needs somebody, but do you ask them, okay, can you be with me for 6 months, or how does that go?
My suggestion, well, and one thing I will say is we have an internship program, LIT internship program, Life Changers in Training is what LIT stands for. And that is a 10-week minimum of 10 hours per week program available to high school and college students. And that automatically gives you 10 weeks. After that, they are more than welcome to stay on volunteering. Okay. Community service. If you take on community service like we do, their hours will dictate how long they're with you. I have one young lady called me the other day with 100 hours. And so of course, I'll ask her, how many hours can you work with me? She has a full-time job. She's only available on the weekends, but you can assign them tasks to do where you don't have to be available. And so if she needs to work from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., I'm not up. I'd let them know I'm not up, but you're more than welcome to work. And so here's another side note. You really need to find an online time clock system. We use clockify.me. They have a paid program, but we use the free program. It is robust. I think it's unlimited people. And the reason why I say that is because, for one, especially if you have community service workers, you need to know, you need to have a system where you can download their times, their day and times, and to send into their probation or parole officer, or to show to the court if they're in pre-arraignment. Also, what an accountant explained to me is, regarding nonprofits, it is a great idea to have your volunteers and your interns clock in. Why? Because when you have people who are interested in supporting you, they want to know, supporting you, not just the, $5 or $10 or $50 or $100 a month, not your vision partners, but more like a corporate sponsor, somebody, or even your grants. The funders of your grants, these foundations, they may want your 990s, and on your 990s, you would report Sue Smith volunteered with us for, 6 months for a total of 1,200 hours. That looks good, because it tells the funder, the potential funder, that, okay, so there are people that buy into this program, the vision, the mission, into this nonprofit. And that speaks to a lot, that speaks a lot to what you have going on, your organizational structure. And, because, people will quit a job, they'll quit a volunteer position in a heartbeat. And, so that really looks good. So yeah, I would say LinkedIn, Facebook, those are the only two I know, other than your regular job boards, like Indeed, Monster Jobs, that kind of thing. Okay.
It's okay.
Well, that's all great for, everything we just discussed coming from a techie aspect, but there are things that you can't do online. You can't do it like we do attend online networking events, but we have grown tremendously the CNN podcast from your in-person networking events that you have attended. So I would love for people to hear your expertise, because I have never done any. I haven't done any. So I would love to hear your expertise about in-person. So can we talk about that for a minute?
Certainly. One thing about it is when you get a rapport with people, first of all, they need to see you. And it's nice to get on Skype or Zoom and everything like that. But when you get a chance to just meet a person in person, um, you you really, if you understand vibes, you get the vibes, right vibes. It really helps. When I would go to events that where to meet new people, to hear what they have to say about not the program or not the event that's happening, but why they're there, what they're doing, and it's just really great because you get their information, and then you actually find out if they're compatible with your organization. You find out when you contact them if they'll contact you back, and that's the big thing. It's like, oh yeah, because I've had people say, oh, I'm going to get in touch with you, and heard from them. Because I say, oh, okay, I'll give you my information. Haven't heard from them. So even though, and I'm telling everybody this, even though you might have some good vibes, that, oh, this person is going to talk with me and about what they're doing, and maybe we can collaborate, and maybe we can even become partners. And you're so excited, it's almost like a first date. And then all of a sudden, they don't call you. And it's like, oh wow, I gave that person my number. How come they didn't call? So, and that's okay, because there are times, and this is what I've asked God. I said, if they're not supposed to be with me, don't let them contact me.
That's
And
right.
apparently that has happened. And so, you have to look at it that way, because sometimes it's best that the person, it's not that the person is bad. It's not that. It's just they may not be compatible with what you're doing.
Right.
And personalities, it might not work out. And, it's where a no is actually a protection more so
Yep.
than it's just a no, and nobody wants to work with me or anything like that. No, don't think that way. It's mostly like, no, that person doesn't really need to be with you.
Right.
They will be a bad influence for your company. So learning to accept no is very good, because if you trust your creator and he's got your back, then you need to trust the process.
Right.
And I have noticed that, I started off really like gangbusters, boom, 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 boom. And right now it's like I'm just leveling off right now. And you have to understand that there's a season for everything.
Yes, ma'am.
And so when you realize there's a season for everything, then you got to trust the process, and don't beat yourself up, because
Mm.
I was doing that. I was like, oh gosh, what's going on? And then I had to realize, no, 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 no. Don't beat yourself up. It's going to happen, and it's just a timing thing. So remember, and what I want to tell our listeners is that, be careful when you just driving yourself, just constantly doing, 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 doing. Take a step back, because even God rested on the seventh day.
Yes. Yes. That's good. That's good.
Because when he saw, or when he did what he did, the reason why he rested was because everything was done.
Right. That's it.
Just read it. It's there. And the thing of it is when you have done all you could do at that particular time, step back and rest, and just relax. And that's very difficult, because we're not trained, we're not taught to relax. We're taught to keep doing, keep doing, keep doing. And see, and like I said, everybody, I'm a Christian, so there's principles that I have to deal with. And when I say deal with, what I mean is I have to abide by because it's for my good. So when he says, Sheila, you need to step back and relax and rest. Now, what is he trying to do? Is he trying to, I don't understand, I'm trying to do this and everything like that. First of all, you got to step back and relax because when you trying to do it all, it doesn't work. And when I say try to do it all, meaning that when you keep doing and don't relax and rest, it's like, okay, you don't think to the fullest and you're trying to make something that may not need to be happening at that particular time. So that's why I said you have to trust your creator, because if you believe that your creator gave you that idea, which he has given a lot of other people ideas, if you believe that, then you're going to have to trust him, that he's going to, work this out. And that's an individual thing. I don't know what he does with you guys. I don't know how he talks with you. But that's an individual thing. And so take it from there. But again, connecting with people, I love doing that because, first of all, when you connect with people, you find out a little bit about them more and more. And my thing is, I'm telling everybody that I give them 3 months. 3 months will give you really an idea about a person. For me. Now, you might say, well, it takes you 6. Some people will say, well, it takes me a whole year. Okay, that's fine. But there's a certain time for me, and it's 3 months. And you will actually, or I have actually started seeing people the way they are in 3 months. That's, like I said, that's me. So again, and that's okay, that's all right. It's like anything else. It's like when you have a beautiful bush and you got to prune the bush in order for it to grow. So sometimes you're going to have people that's going to come and they're going to stay right with you to the end. Then you're going to have some people that you're going to have to prune from your organization. And that's okay. They're just there for, and I think we talked about that last time, and they're there for a season. Remember, you got seasons. Remember that if you got a bad season, it's not going to last. And if you got a good season, that may not last for, because it goes back and forth. However, you got to learn your seasons. You got to learn your seasons. When you start learning your seasons, it's how you respond. And so for me, as a new nonprofit, I am learning a lot, and it can be very overwhelming. And you really need a cheerleading group, if you can, or just one. Just say, you know what, keep going, or because you always need that. And if you don't have it, then do it yourself. David had to do it. So do it yourself, and again, if this is what the creator, your creator, wants you to do, then it's going to happen. But but everybody has a choice. Right. He can call you to do something and you can decline. See, people don't get this. Well, if God called you to do something, yeah, but you can decline. Now, what's going to happen after you decline? That's on you. But you can say no, because see, he's not the person that is going to make you do anything. And I didn't mean to preach, but I'm just saying, if that's the case, because mostly the people that I've been connecting with say that they're Christians. So that's a principle. Right. Concerning that with me. Now, if you're not a Christian, but you believe that there's a higher power, I talk to anybody. You believe there's a higher power. I'm gonna tell you that everything has laws. Everything. And laws don't change. Now, I'm talking about nature laws. I'm talking about spiritual law. They don't change. And so with that being said, we know that we better learn those laws. And again, like I said, one of those laws is season. And so we have to understand that you have everything that we do is a learning experience. Everything.
Yes.
Everything we do. Do you know that every problem has a solution?
Yes.
Every problem has a solution. So the thing of it is how do you deal with finding that solution? And again, I'm going to stress this. You have to back off and you have to rest. That's the big thing. You have to rest. And especially your mind, you got to rest. That
yes.
mind.
Yes. Yes.
That. So, and I know, Ericka, you know, on Sunday, it's like, look, I'm resting. And so, and I, you know, that's the bottom line is the rest, because you know what? It is a fact that even if you don't sleep a certain amount, and when I say sleep, I mean rest, not just, you know, you're sleeping I'm talking about resting. When you don't do that, you take a lot of your life away from you, because we are actually designed. This is a law, guys. We are designed to rest.
Yes.
Because we act a fool when we don't.
Yeah.
That and eating. We don't eat. I said, what's wrong with you? When you acting all crazy, what's wrong? Well, I hadn't eaten, or, you know, I hadn't rested. So that is a law. That's how we were designed. Now, if you have a problem with that, you take it up with your creator. But we have to work with that in order to get things done. And so my thing is this: when you're called to do something or to help, because I want to say 80 to 85% of people on this earth want to help each other.
Right.
I think the 20, 25, I think they're the ones that's the leaders over a lot of these countries, and they okay, I'm gonna stop. But yeah, we mostly want to help each other. We actually have all the answers to everything. We actually have the answer. We have the answer to, you know, the correctional centers. We have the answer for it. But it's the leaders.
Right.
And I repeat myself to any leader that, you know, come up in my face, I'll tell them. So I have no problem with that. So it comes down. Yeah, it comes down to, you know, Ericka, you need to run for office, somebody, and that's got some sense. Because you can tell, I don't care anybody, you can tell whether a person or a leader that's in office is actually for the community. You can tell it.
Right.
You can really tell it. So, you know, and then, you know, with people that think that, you know, well, I got money and we're trying to do tax write-offs and everything like that. You know what? The bottom line is this. We have enough where we can feed everybody. Yep. We have enough that we can house people. We have enough. The point of it is ask yourself, how come we don't? How come we have all these nonprofits and we're still in the predicament that we're still in? Ask yourself that.
Yeah, I mean, the housing, it doesn't even have to be nonprofits. You got enough real estate investors who can house everybody.
Correct. So there's an answer, and we know the answer to it. One of my answers is greed.
Yeah. Well,
why do we have homeless people? Correct. So with that being said, we got all these nonprofits. Another question. I know some of these big nonprofits, and I think we talked about this last time. You guys need to help the ones that's coming in. Because once we connect together and unify, which I would hear the words, but then when it comes down to the action part of it, I'm a little bit disappointed. I should not say that maybe. I don't care. But I'm saying it because if we have all these nonprofits, and a majority of us are doing actually the same thing.
Right.
Is there something wrong with this? I don't know. Maybe it's me. But I'm just being for real. It's like, okay, if I see Mr. Jordy is doing something with the homeless, Mr. Jordy needs to hook up with Mr. Sanford that's doing the same thing, because if you think about it, if Mr. Jordan is trying to get funds and Mr. Sanford is trying to get funds, work together, guys.
Right.
Get those funds and work together. And but I'm seeing some things that I don't like seeing. And I'm just saying that. So anyway, with that being said, again, we need to also stay in contact with our commissioners and
Yes.
and our senators. And I know it's difficult to get with the senators, as Ericka has tried.
Well, no, okay.
Ericka has been
Keep talking
out there.
because I've gotten information from them. But go ahead.
Oh, well, this is wonderful. Okay,
Yeah,
did you do your three strike rule?
well, on the third, when I
Did you do your
put
three?
third time before the message, yeah, I finally got I got a response. Shout out to Senator Raphael Warnock.
Oh, okay. Yay! All right, but she had to put the third time there.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
That's letting him know. All right, and again, it's a timing thing.
Yes.
Because we know that we have to start voting again.
Yes.
So it's a timing thing. So that's great. Okay. Shout out to him. And was it a positive
Yeah, it was
response?
very positive. Yes, I just got it the other day, and I know we both been crazy, getting busier and busier, and I hadn't even realized I didn't forward it to you. So I will do that as soon as we finish. I sure will.
No, that's all right. That's no problem. That's no problem. Well, this is great. And again, like I said, if, we have all these people that's working with the homeless and everything like that, come together and say, okay, we need to target some of these representatives. We need to target them and let them know, hey, this is what we need.
Right.
Unification is a big thing. And once we do that, look at the ant. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm preaching now. Look at the ant. Look what he does. Look what they do. And they're so small and so tiny, but they know what to do.
Right.
They know what to do. So, again, let's come together, guys. Come together, because once we come together, we can take back our cities. Right. We can start putting the right people in office so they would actually want to care about the homeless. We should not have anybody homeless. Nobody. I just saw a program where there was a guy, he was 66 years old, I believe, and he was homeless, and it happened where somebody had taken a photograph of him and put it in the paper. Well, one of his childhood friends from school happened to notice that was one of their friends. And so I think it was 4 or 5 of their friends got together, and now he's not homeless.
Wonderful.
They made sure that, because that's what the Creator is all about.
Right.
You may not call him Jesus. You may not call him God. You may not, I don't care what you call him, but I'm going to tell you, this is what this is all about. And so he's not homeless anymore. What had happened was he had, went into the hospital. There was a lot of mental issues. He was not on drugs. And then the friends said, okay, let's get together and get him off the street.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So my thing is, people that's talking about homelessness and you want to help them, I want to see it. I want to see that if I have someone that is homeless and I call you and I don't hear from you, I don't know. You
Right.
take it from there.
Right.
Because again, like I said, nobody needs to be homeless. I'm tired of seeing where people don't have a place to stay and it's like, oh, we got to raise the rent, especially here in Atlanta. We got to
True.
raise the rent. Raise the rent for what?
Right.
So you can so what? So you can what? It's all about taking care of everyone. It's all about giving. Because you know what? It's better than receiving. Believe you me, I can tell you that because there are scientific fact that the brain, when someone gives, the brain lights up. It's a scientific fact.
Right.
Better than receiving.
Right. Right.
So it's already hardwired in us. Already hardwired. So with that being said, hopefully you're listening to this podcast. You'll say, you know what, I need to get with such and such. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be Ericka, but get with somebody
Right.
and say, you know what, we need to connect so we can do what we need to do because there's power in unity.
Right. Right.
That's about it.
What you said is powerful because I literally just told my son that last week when we were talking about tithing, and he's like, "Well, I don't belong to a church, and if you're anti-church or anti-Christian, just plug your ears for a second." And I said, "Well, nobody said you have to tithe to a church." I said, "Nonprofits." I said, "For one, yeah, Life Changers, we will definitely accept your donation." But I said, think about the nonprofits that worked with you growing up. Boys and Girls Club, or that you even knew about growing up. United Way, Big Brother, Big Sister. I said, Salvation Army. There are a lot of nonprofits that you can be giving that 10% to and gifts and offerings. And it doesn't have to be a church building or a congregation. So yes, there are, if you don't believe in church, okay, unplug your ears now. If you don't believe in church, there are plenty of nonprofits out here who are not faith-based. Their founders are not faith-based, and they can use your help. So yes, we don't have to have homeless people. We don't have to have people hungry. We don't have to have people who don't have clothes. We don't have to have, elderly who don't have anybody checking on them and who are sick and shut in. And no, all of that can be handled. And what I was mentioning too, when you said, earlier, 80 or 20 or whatever, that's the Pareto's principle, 80-20 rule. And yes, 20% of the haves, and I believe, and I'm saying this, I don't have an article, I have not Googled it, this is just coming up. We do this show just on the fly. It's more exciting that way, but it's very informative. But the 80-20 rule is 20%, like in sales, 20% of your sales force will bring in 80% of your revenue. 20% of your, group will do 80% of the work. So I believe that 20% of the nonprofits are handling 80% of the problem. But the problem is there are so many nonprofits that are being, like, pretty much like you said, that are the new ones, the small ones, are not even being given a chance to help. We don't start nonprofits on a shoestring budget and invest so much time and energy to be, we want to get in and help. How can I help you? And I know where you were going when you said I was not contacted back, because we've talked about it in the past. It just came to my recollection yesterday that I connected with, and I'm not going to name them, but I connected with two major nonprofits, and I have not heard, wanting to partner with them. I have not heard, and you know what I said? But when I contacted them, I said, God, if it's your will. Apparently it wasn't his will. Apparently it wasn't his will. But yeah, there are nonprofits out here that are willing, ready, and able. They got people to jump in and help out, but these bigger nonprofits, they take on volunteers. I see it like this. I see it like this. In trucking, and if you don't know, I come from, 16, 17 years in trucking, as an owner of a trucking company. Trucking, if you're a company and you have product to move, you use a broker who has different trucking companies who they can divvy the work up to. Hey, they'll call us, M&E Rich. Hey, I got a load picking up in Atlanta going to San Antonio, Texas, or Phoenix, Arizona. You want it, and you negotiate. You negotiate the price or whatever. That's in the for-profit, but like we said in the beginning, nonprofit is a business. I don't know why it's not done that way now. There's a lot of grants. There's foundations. Okay, you have your favorite. That's fine. But still in all, the big grants, I'm with you. There's another way to do it, to where, for one, and that's one reason why the CNN podcast was even started, because these hurdles are hurdles that most nonprofits face, because they don't know. You don't know what you don't know until you need to know it, right? Well, who's going to tell it to you? Who's going to tell it to you, especially if they don't call you when they say they're going to call you, right? So that's why, what I'm sharing with you, for one, comes from years in business. I've been starting businesses for over 20 years. And again, this is a business. I even went to SCORE, the mentoring, the free mentoring group, to see, okay, I come from the for-profit space. I'm now going into the nonprofit space. What do I need to know? What's different? And by the time we got, by the end of our conversation, Roger's asking, hey, have you ever thought of being a mentor with SCORE? And I'm like, yeah, tried it. Y'all didn't accept me, but what am I missing? He said nothing. I said, oh, okay. So yes, everything that I'm sharing with you is valid for a nonprofit, and it was learned because in trucking, nobody wanted to reach out. In trucking, nobody said, we're asking, well, hey, how do you do this? Oh, well, let me call you back. Or you call them, because they don't call you. You call them, get the voicemail. Hey, you never called me back. Can you still help me out? Nothing. Crickets. You cannot carry all the freight in the world. Nonprofits, you cannot solve all the problems in the world. But we can work together to get it done. We can go, and I digress. I didn't mean to get, I'm first and foremost, I'm passionate. I am a humanitarian. Okay. I'm a child of God. I am a humanitarian, and I don't like unnecessary suffering. I don't understand it. And if I can't understand it, I can't vibe with it. And if I can't vibe with it, I have an animosity toward it and people who further that agenda. Therefore, I'm passionate. First and foremost, shutting the profit prisons down. That is my unofficial vision. It's not the vision of Life Changers. That is the vision of Ericka Scott. I digress. Go ahead.
Amen. Well, it's time for us to go, everyone. And hopefully you feel the passion like we feel the passion. And again, I'm talking to my group who call themselves Christians. All right, it's time to show who we are, because it says in the word that you will know them by their fruits.
Yes.
But before you talk about fruits, you better know what type of fruits he's talking about.
Ooh.
So you can call me and say, you know what, I'm a Christian, but if I don't see the fruit,
right.
Sorry.
Right.
Sorry. I won't call you out, but I don't want to deal with you.
Right.
So, and when I say I don't want to deal with you, meaning, there's certain things that, I will not connect with you. Because don't get me wrong, everyone, everybody's going through another level, because Paul did say, you know what, I want to deal with you with meat, but I can't. I got to deal with you with milk. Right. So some of y'all still on milk. I got you. And that's okay. But the thing of it is that we have to understand that we are not of this world. And I guess I am preaching, but we are not of this world, meaning we do not do, or we're not supposed to do the way the world does it. Right. That's a system. And you know what? The world system doesn't work. You know why it doesn't work? Because we're doing a nonprofit. Right. If the system worked, I wouldn't be doing this. Bottom line. And with that being said,
greed, and that's unfortunately greed is universal between both worlds, because what do they say that when someone is exposed to three things, their true character will come out. Those three things are sex, money, and power.
Right. Well, it says what's all that's in the world is the lust of the flesh, lust.
Right.
Look it up, Google it. The lust of the eye and the pride of life. There you go.
Right. That's it.
Yeah. So we didn't mean to, go to church. However, the principles are there. Right. You can't get away with it. The principles are there. So the thing of it is you choose. You choose how you want to do it, because again, like I said, if the system was about people, we wouldn't be in this mess. We got too many people are going to universities and getting their degrees, and it's getting worse. So the question is why? We know why, but ask yourself, is it working? Right. How's that working for you? we got so many people that haven't gone to colleges and they got more sense than so many. But all I'm saying is, if it's not working, then we need to change the way we deal with this. So, with that being said, we're going to leave you with this. When you change the way you look at things, the way you look at things change.
Amen. Amen. Share with us how we can connect with you for your life coaching and because it's personal.
Well, my life coaching is common sense. Oh, my God, common sense. Okay. It's common sense, transformational lifestyle coaching. Okay. It's actually COMMON and then of course sense, LC. Okay. Transformational lifestyle coaching, .com. Okay. It's not org. And, just go to my website and, what I'm going to be doing is by next month, I want to do group sessions. And by that time, hopefully I will have the topics that we're going to be discussing. Now, knowing me, I'm the type of person, I really get into really good topics, things that we need to, really talk about and work on. And so you'll be hearing a little bit more about this later on, throughout the week or the weeks. And it's going to be great. So, awesome. And then, of course, because it's personal, my website is because it's personal, inc.org. And go to my website, volunteer. Hey, we don't have our 501c3 yet. But just like Ericka said, we let you know that it's coming. So we've already have applied for it and we're just waiting and go from there.
I am a Christian life and business coach, and you can connect with me for that at www.lifebythebookcoaching.com. And of course, Life Changers, our nonprofit, is lifechangersinc.org. And otherwise, if you would like to advertise on the CNN podcast, either on the podcast or on our website, then please visit thecnnpodcast.com, click the advertise tab, and we will be in touch with you. If you would like to be a guest on our podcast, visit the website and we'll contact you about your organization or your company if you are a nonprofit or serve nonprofit organizations.